ESPN 1240 and online at WBBW.com. Ryan and Christian brought to you by Donnell Ford Lincoln. Check out their website, DonnellSalem.com. You can view their entire inventory on there, specializing in cars under 10 grand. And specializing in fantasy sports, James Dodson of the 360 Sports Network. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, gentlemen?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I got some stuff I want to discuss with you here in a minute. Christian's got some tight end issues.
Let's start with the NFL. First of all, I did win this week, James. My losing streak is over, and I have to give you some credit because I did go get Brandon Myers, and he hooked me up big time last week.
Yeah, he did. It helped her, though. I mean, he was getting the targets, he was getting the yards, but he got his first couple career touchdowns as well. And believe it or not, he's still out there in about 50% of the league. So for people who didn't listen last week, listen this week. You got to get him. I'm glad he helped you. I'm glad he got you the win.
And here comes my quandary. Now, I'm a point where someone has to go on this roster of mine. I got to pick up a receiver thanks to, what's his name's injury, Antonio Brown of the Steelers. But Vernon Davis. Now, I have two tight ends. I don't want to carry two tight ends. But now I'm in a quandary because Vernon Davis for 3 straight weeks has consistently just destroyed me in fantasy. Last week didn't play him, obviously, because they don't think he played, and look what happens. Now, would you stick with Vernon Davis and drop Myers, or would you keep Myers and maybe drop Vernon Davis? No one will trade me for him. I tried that.
That was what I was going to say first, was he's still the big enough name that you got to put him on the trading block first. Does your flex position involve tight ends at all?
Yeah, actually, yeah. And I need someone to play the flex this week.
See, because of that, I would carry that second tight end, especially when he is Vernon Davis, because he can take off without any doubt. I would carry both tight ends, but I wouldn't be afraid to be playing Myers over Vernon Davis in the next couple of games. If Vernon Davis does take off in a game, you can immediately start playing Davis instead or play both. So because of that, I would keep them both. If you didn't have that flex, I would consider dropping him at that point. But I think you should try to keep him. The question, is who do you try to drop after that? I mean, definitely you only want to try to carry one defense at this point in the year if you can. Definitely one kicker. It makes it difficult.
Yeah, I'm at a point with Maurice Jones-Drew where I'm hearing next couple weeks he might be back. Could use him for the playoffs, so I want to hold on to him. Alex Green's on a bye. My running backs besides Ray Rice this week, I got Daniel Thomas is the only one I have. There's no one out there, is there?
The one that I would drop, the guys you're saying, I would drop Alex Green. He is not performing the way he should be, and honestly, he was outperformed and got less touches than James Starks. It just does not look good for Alex Green. I would get rid of him. I don't trust any Green Bay running back. I mean, honestly, Randall Cobb's in the backfield again as much as Starks or Green is.
The problem is there's just no tailback to pick up that I can see that's going to buy me time before Maurice Jones-Drew gets back.
Yeah, I hear you. Joyke Bell I actually like, especially if it's a PPR league. Out of Detroit, he's just getting 4 or 5 catches every week, believe it or not. Isaac Redmond, if you trust the Pittsburgh backfield right now. How about Jacques Rogers? Playing against New Orleans this week especially, he's getting in there, especially in the second half, a lot more. A lot of people still overlook him. He might be available, but if none of those 3 are available, then, at that point, you're probably going to have to stick with Alex Green, again, unless it's somebody else you need.
I was looking at Bell from Detroit, but it seems like LaShore's starting to get all the carries there.
He will be getting a lot of carries, but, I mean, even look last week. It was LaShore in the first half, and then it was Joyke Bell in the second half getting all the carries. But more than anything, when it's a passing down, LaShore is nowhere near the field because he just is not a good receiver. They're giving those plays a lot more to Joyke Bell. If you're a running back getting 4 or 5 catches in a game, I mean, again, especially if it's PPR league, he's somebody you definitely want to look for.
Yeah, he does have 23 catches this year, so maybe I'll go give him a try. But you're right, because even with Green with the Packers, he might be getting the 20 carries a game, but he's not getting over 60 yards, and he hasn't gotten a touchdown at all.
Right, no touchdowns, and 20 carries a game. I think he hit the 20 mark once. Every other time it's been in the low teens. It's just not. It's not worth it when someone like Joyke Bell he's getting touches. Here's another stat for you with him. He's averaging over 10 yards per catch as well. So he's getting the yards out of those catches. It's not like he's catching a 2-yard screen pass every time.
All right. And I should definitely hold on to Maurice Jones-Drew and wait this out because he might be back just for the playoffs, which would be perfect.
Exactly. He should be coming back just in time for fantasy playoffs. I'm definitely not giving up on him yet at all. I mean, if you need, put it this way, if you need a win that last week before playoffs, and you have no one else you can drop, well, shame on you if you have no one else you can drop. But if you need wins and you need to fill up your roster otherwise, that's another story. But if you're in playoff position, yeah, you got to hold on to them just for when playoff time rolls around.
Okay, well, that's all for me in football. I appreciate that. Thank you.
My pleasure. All right, I hear we got a big trade coming in the NBA.
Yes. I probably made the most large trade and, male parts trade. Ballsy trade, I guess we could say that, I suppose. Well, I said it anyway. Anyway, that I've ever made in any fantasy league of any type of sport. Now, to give you a little background, I know we've went over my roster once before, but I had the second overall pick in this draft, and I took Kevin Durant. He was the main piece in this trade. So I essentially traded away my number 2 pick. I gave up Kevin Durant, and I gave up Raymond Felton. And in return, I'm getting Zach Randolph, Andre Iguodala, Kyrie Irving, and Jared Jack, and I took it.
Wow. Well, here's the thing. Kevin Durant, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get about 25 points a game. You're probably going to get a good number of rebounds, but maybe not as many assists as you would like. In basketball, like we said, we wanted well-balanced players, and everybody that you name there is going to get you balanced. Nowhere near the total number, especially in points, that Durant was going to get you. But the fact of the matter is, you get everything out of it. You get Randolph, who'll get points and rebounds. Iguodala, same thing. And Kyrie Irving is, well, obviously going to get you points, but also the assists, the steals, that sort of thing. In terms of solidifying your team as a whole, there's no doubt that you did make a very gutsy move to get rid of that number 2 pick. But I'll tell you what, I don't like those top guys. I don't like the LeBron James, the Kevin Durant, because they're going to get you a lot of points. Cool, you'll win that every week. But what you just did right there completely balances your team as a whole. When people have off days, you can fill them in with no difficulty. I love that trade.
Yeah, I mean, usually I wouldn't make a trade like that, but I was thinking along the same lines you were that, okay, I gave up 2 guys, I got 4 back, which means that gives me 2 quality players that I can start during the week when, I mean, let's face it, if Kevin Durant, say he was off 2 days, well, then I don't have him. But getting this amount of players back, I feel like I had to do it. I mean, and I'm adding those guys, and I didn't lose any of my core players other than Kevin Durant. I still got Rondo. I still got G. Waiters. I still got David Lee, Thaddeus Young, Greg Monroe. I still got Gerald Wallace, Manu Ginobili. And I figure I throw those 4 guys in there. I am consistently balanced at every stat you need. I have Kid Gilchrist if I need stills. I have Rondo and Kyrie Irving for assists and points. I got Lee for rebounds and points. I got Zach Randolph for rebounds and points. I got point guards now. I feel like I have a more balanced and complete team after making that trade than I did before.
No, absolutely. And, I mean, the only thing from hearing that roster that I'm scared of is the fact that on a night where the Cavaliers are off, that you might have some empty spots at this point.
I got 2 Cavs.
Just 2. I thought I heard. Did I hear Waiters, or did you not get him?
I have Waiters and Kyrie Irving.
I thought I heard G in there as well. That's why I was.
But I don't play him. It's just because my team's name is G-Force.
Oh, that's right. You did say that. That's why you have to keep him. No, I understand that.
He's
you
just
got
there to be like the mascot.
Of course. Oh, everybody needs a mascot. No, I like it. You do have the well-balanced, and again, know your league, know how your system works. I mean, if your system was just you get a certain number of points for every stat, not the win the category every week sort of thing, then maybe that trade doesn't look as good. But when you need to win every category like that, there's no doubt that your trade really solidifies what you have. And take a look going through this first couple of weeks. Some of the stats we forget about are like free throw percentage, 3-point shots, and 3-point percentage. And then see at that point, okay, maybe I'm lacking there. I have too many guys who aren't shooting the long ball. Maybe I need to try to pick up somebody like a J.J. Redick who's going to shoot the outside shot.
So far, I'm pretty happy with the balance. Now, we're only 4 games in, basically 4 or 5 games into the NBA season. But is there anybody out there, I know this is probably premature to ask, that, let's say, is playing hot right now? I'll give you an example. Damian Lillard has lit it up.
Mm-hmm.
James Harden's lit it up. There's some players out there that I noticed, like Mo Williams, averaging 20 a game in 2 or 3 games work. do people need to just relax with some of these guys? Because I noticed in my league, a lot of people are running out to pick up these players. But if you look at the NBA, there's a oddly large number of players averaging 20 or more. And isn't that just fool's gold? Isn't it just too early? I mean, if you put together 2 good games, you're going to look good.
Oh, absolutely. You remember how exceptionally high we were on Varejao after the first game when he put up, 20-some rebounds. I mean, no, that's not something that you're going to expect to continue. You know, take it easy. The only one out of all those that I might be drinking the Kool-Aid on would be Harden down there in Houston. He's looked good so far consistently, and they've brought him right in and said, look, you're running the show. Go ahead and take care of it. Now, with that being said, again, most of the guys you've mentioned are guys that have been taken. So unless you're going to try to put together a blockbuster deal, which I'm pretty sure you're not going to want to do another one of, Ryan.
Good.
No, I don't blame you at all. Guys that you might want to look for, I mean, if you realize this is where you should be looking, okay, I'm not getting enough rebounds, I'm not getting enough steals, that sort of thing. If you want rebounds, guy named Omar Askey, also down in Houston, he gets you the rebounds big times. I mean, 15 rebounds in the last 3 games since his average, but he only gets 5 points per game. So, I mean, it's trade-offs like that you got to look for. Al-Farouq Amino down in New Orleans, he's a guy who's more balanced. He's someone I would look for that people are forgetting about, available in still about 40% of leagues, because he is consistent. He gets 13 per game points, but he also gets 2 steals, 2 blocks, 2 assists, 7 rebounds every game as well. It's those balanced guys that can help solidify a team, but you're right. If you see a 3-point guy who's out there and I'm really low on them, then I do go after someone like a J.J. Redick or a Greitas Vazquez.
All right. Well, before we let you go, plug the website for us.
Absolutely. We are here at 360sportsnetwork.com. Love answering your questions, giving trade analysis, waiver wire pickups, anything that we can give, fantasy football, fantasy basketball, fantasy hockey, maybe. Who knows what's going to happen with that.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, well, I had to throw it in there eventually.
You did.
Fantasy auto racing, fantasy anything we would love to be able to help you with. So send us a message. We're at 360sportsnetwork.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at 3S Network. Any way we can make your team better, that's why we're here at 360 Sports Network.
All right. Thank you. We'll talk to you next week, James.
All right. Keep it going, gentlemen.
Now we're going to take a